Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard says she has identified, quote, overwhelming evidence to show how Obama-era officials manufactured the Trump-Russia collusion hoax after he was elected in 2016. Here is DNI Gabbard on what she found.
Over 100 documents that we released on Friday really detail and provide evidence of how this treasonous conspiracy was directed by President Obama just weeks before he was due to leave office, after President Trump had already gotten elected. Creating this piece of manufactured intelligence that claims that Russia had helped Donald Trump get elected contradicted every other assessment that had been made previously in the months leading up to the election that said exactly the opposite. So the effect of what President Obama and his senior national security team did was subvert the will of the American people, undermining our democratic republic, and enacting what would be essentially a years-long coup against President Trump, who was duly elected by the American people.
You know, I guess my kind of top-down concern has to do with how far back this went if ex-President Obama was involved. I mean, they would have been working against Donald Trump to help Hillary win, to what else? What could have been the reason for all of that?
Because they wanted to stay in control, and Donald Trump was operating so far outside the establishment that I think to a lot of people whom many would consider the deep state, he was uncontrollable. He was such an unknown quantity that they were terrified that he would come in and upend the establishment. And, you know, it's like in many ways he has. In many ways he has destroyed a lot of norms that people didn't realize were detrimental to this country. And I understand why DNI Gabbard has a vested interest here, because if you remember, this is something that Hillary Clinton was pushing long after she lost the 2016 election. And she said with great certainty that Tulsi Gabbard is a Russian asset. She used the term Russian asset.
Yes, she did.
And then, you know, Tulsi Gabbard was taken aside by TSA and, you know, customs and questioned, and she was on a list and she didn't know how she got there. Well, now she's DNI, and she'll get to the bottom of some of her personal questions, but also make sure this never happens again with any president, with any administration, with any level of the intelligence agencies who were all in collusion with each other. And the Washington Post and New York Times needs to give their Pulitzers back with this sham reporting they did.
Wow.